Well, hey everyone, I'm so excited to introduce you to my friend Caitlin. Caitlin, hey, welcome to BecomingMeTV.
Thank you.
And many of you are already familiar with Caitlin. Caitlin's a contributor with Becoming, so you've been reading her fabulous work, and today you get to hear her story and how she is becoming who God made her to be. So to kick it off, Caitlin, who is Caitlin?
Who is Caitlin? I feel like I always go back to like what my friends tell me. I think Caitlin is someone who is full of light and joy and just excitement about living. I genuinely get pumped every day of just like getting the chance to live this crazy life that we are all trying to find our way. In a world where literally adventure is right around the corner. That's not, something corny. That's literally what I believe. I'm inquisitive. I'm curious about everything. I always want to learn more, especially when someone or something is unfamiliar to me. I like being uncomfortable. I like getting out of my comfort zone. I really just like exploring. I feel like I'm such an explorer at heart, which is why I'm always out in nature, like getting lost, and people are always like, where are you? Take your phone with you. But yeah, I would say I just live life with passion in all things. And I would definitely, if someone was describing me and they just used one word, I would want it to be passionate.
That's really cool. I would definitely describe you with that word.
Yeah.
For sure. No, that's so awesome. I love it. Passionate Caitlin.
I know, I'm gonna add it to my resume.
Yes, you should. Very top.
Yeah.
So I've had the privilege of hearing your story, and I'm really excited for BecomingMe.tv to hear it today as well. Why don't you just take some time and unpack your story and your journey for us?
Sure. My story kind of began with, I was born in South Carolina. I'm a Southern girl at heart, to a wonderful mother. And my relationship with my dad was always not great. My dad wasn't, mentally there a lot of my childhood. And so I think one thing that defined my story growing up was growing up without a father, which a lot of people can relate to. And that combined with the fact that I didn't grow up in church kind of left me anchorless in a way. And so it wasn't until high school that I was even really exposed to Christianity or Jesus. And I was very lucky that I got in with a really good group of people that were believers and just acted out their faith in daily ways. And, for me growing up, kind of a father was someone that was not loving or was not supportive or didn't make you feel safe. And so growing up, I kept hearing about God the Father, and I wasn't sure I wanted to get on that train. I wasn't sure I wanted another father in my life. And it took me until college, and I really started seeking him in a really valid, tangible way. I started spending time with him, just getting to know him. And it was beautiful. It kind of opened up this entire piece of me that I never knew I was missing. I had this God-sized hole in me, and I kept trying to fill it with not terrible things, friends and family and boyfriends and art and music and all the things that I'm, passionate about. But it still wasn't God. It still wasn't what was supposed to fill that hole. And so once I found that, I kind of fell in love, and I never really wanted to go back. That's not to say the relationship has been easy. It's been a struggle, especially, I'm going to turn 28 this year. And I feel like from, the age of like 23 to about really 27, I went through some hard times where I was challenged, and I definitely had to overcome some deep, deep valleys. And that was wonderful, and that was needed. And I thank God every day now that I did get the chance to go through that at such a young age, because now here I am going into my late 20s, and I feel very settled in who I am. And I feel very blessed in, the person that God has made me to be. it's almost like I met her for the first time, within the last year of my life. And it was revealed to me, like, this is who you're supposed to be. And I think it's a beautiful, beautiful future. I think, God's given me a heart to really love people and love them well and love them genuinely. And for a long time, I tried to do that without him, and it was just impossible. So now kind of my becoming story is really, it's becoming who I was always supposed to be, but with God. And I'm really excited about it. I genuinely have a lot of hope for the future. I know that's not what many people say, especially in this day and age when the world seems like it's going crazy. And, but I have a lot of hope for the future, because I have this very deep well in me now. And it's full of strength and it's full of grace, and I can just call on it anytime I need. And that gives me a lot of fortitude, and it gives me a lot of joy. And I think I'm excited to see what the next couple of years of my life bring and how God's going to use that. He's like put that in me, and now I really feel him saying, okay, go out and do the work that I have commanded you to do. So that's kind of me.
That's a big deal. Oh my goodness. Like when you said, I feel like I met her for the first time, like, I resonate with that so deeply. Because truly, I think that there is that inciting moment in each of our stories. And it doesn't have to be some flash in the sky. It's that soft, like, wow, I met myself for the first time.
Yeah. And I think also, like, in, today's age, women especially are told, we need something else to be complete. Either you need a good job, or you need a husband, or you need children. All those things are wonderful, but we don't necessarily need those. I think for me, realizing that I just need myself. I need God, and I need him to tell me every day, I love you, I cherish you, and that's enough. And that was a really tough point to get to.
Yeah.
It was a struggle getting to that point where you can just look in the mirror and say, I am enough. Even if I don't feel this, God says it. And so it is.
Yeah. Drop the mic. Oh my gosh. So good. Like, so
I wish, like Beyonce dropped the mic.
No, you totally just schooled her, girl. That was good. And that's a deep truth for all of us to embrace. If you were sitting across from another woman, you're having coffee, you're hanging out in your favorite coffee shop in Nashville.
Portland Brew.
Is that your favorite?
Yes, it's on Eastland. Everyone needs to check it out.
Girl, the next time I'm in Nashville, we're going. So it'd be so fun. So you guys are hanging out and you're drinking your favorite coffee. What would you say to encourage her on her own becoming journey?
I think the biggest, right now, and this is something that I'm realizing in my life and something I'm trying to hold true to, is be present. Like when we look at that word, like becoming, it's a very active word. That's a present word. Like it's ongoing. It's happening every single moment. And so I think, I'm guilty of it. I'm sure I know a lot of my friends are guilty of it. We're constantly looking at the future and like worrying about the future. And, that's one of my favorite verses where it talks about like, don't worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow has enough trouble of its own, and I just think being present is such a beautiful, beautiful thing, because we don't know what tomorrow brings, and we don't know what our life is how long our life is going to be, or what it's going to entail. And so I think I encourage, my friends, I encourage my loved ones, and I encourage myself, like every day, just be in this moment with God. And even if that's taking a second to just ask him and say, Lord, just clear my mind, bring me peace. And let me just experience what you have for me to experience right now, right here and now. I've prayed that countless times, and he's never yet let me down. Every time I talk to him and I'm getting overwhelmed about something, and I just say, just bring me peace and let me be present in this moment. I find those are the moments that I I become even more who he
Yeah.
wants me to be, because I'm able to understand this is what you're trying to teach me here. So yeah, I think that would be my biggest, if I'm just drinking coffee with a girlfriend, it's like, just don't take for granted this moment, because right here in this moment, you are loved exactly for who you are. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. And it's not for you to shoulder that burden. That let God worry about that. Just be his creation, you know?
Absolutely. Oh, so good. Now I can't wait to have coffee with you and you can just speak all that stuff to me again. It would be so good.
Well, coffee is I'm usually talking about like either some podcast or so, but we can throw a little of that in there too.
I love it. I love it. Well, girl, your passion definitely does shine through. And just thank you so much for walking us through your story and how you're becoming who God made us to be. And then just how you're encouraging us to be present, and then even just know that, hey, we're enough. We don't need that other stuff to complete us. That's huge. So Caitlin, thank you so much.
Oh, thanks, girl.
And for all of you who are listening, we'll have links in the blog post here on how you can connect with Caitlin. You can check out her blog. She also writes regularly for BecomingMe.tv. You can follow her on Instagram, follow her outdoor adventures, all that good stuff. So all the links will be below this post. But Caitlin, girl, you rock. And I'm excited to see you in Nashville soon.
Yeah, so pumped.